was already implied earlier. I think James pointed it out.
Kind of foreshadowing.
I don't think the Denver Broncos will make the playoffs this year. I predicted them to go 10-7, missing the playoffs as the 8th seed. Now, there are a couple of reasons I think this. The main reason is going to be a tougher schedule. Now, that is the biggest hypocritical thing you could possibly say as a Patriot when I'm a Patriots fan.
No, I respect it.
But, and considering that I still have the Patriots making the playoffs. But there's one other combination here that makes the tougher schedule also an issue. The Patriots don't have this issue. It's the fact that the Broncos were 11-2 in one-score games last year. 11-2. If we subtract that by 4 to go from 14-3 to 10-7, which is what I have, they still go 8-6 in one-score games, which is a much more reasonable amount and not horrible. 8-6 isn't horrible for one-score games. It's not. But in this loaded AFC, 10-7 isn't going to get you there. Now, they do have some upside. They have probably the best defense, maybe the second best defense. I probably give the Texans slightly higher nods, but they're first in sacks and second in yards allowed. They do struggle in special teams. They're 21st in special teams, and they have an okay offense. They are 10th in offensive yards per game, and then they're not necessarily high on others, but they're mid-range on other statistics. So if we look at their schedule compared to last year, they have the Chiefs, Jaguars, Rams, 49ers, Chargers, Seahawks, Cardinals, Chiefs again, Panthers, Raiders, Steelers, Dolphins, Jets, Raiders, Bills, Patriots, Chargers. That first couple of games is ludicrous. Then it gets easier in the middle half of the season, and then it rounds out with 3 very difficult games. I think that they're going to go on a pretty long streak. They're going to probably beat the Cardinals. I think that they'll beat the Chiefs at least once. And then they'll probably beat the Panthers, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Raiders. They might lose one of those games, but I think overall they'll win most of those games. The problem here is then they have the Chiefs in week 1, they have the Jaguars, they have the Rams, they have the 49ers, they have the Chargers twice, and they have the Bills and Patriots. You are going to lose one of the games I mentioned earlier, and you're going to lose a lot of these games. The Broncos, as I said, easy strength of schedule, very good defense. Defense can't get you when your quarterback is mid.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix is the 20th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I 100% agree with that, actually.
Okay. But do you disagree with my take?
100%. The Broncos. Oh, well, there's something that I agree about it, something that I disagree about it. Number 1, I believe their offensive coordinator, did he leave?
I don't think so, no.
Did their defensive coordinator leave?
I don't think so, no.
So both of those guys stayed. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm 90% sure the defensive guy left. Not entirely sure about the offensive guy. However, this...
Vic Fangio?
Yeah. Not entirely sure. Again, not entirely sure. But if they did, I would probably agree. But
either way, even if they didn't, and I'll even go on your side, I don't think the defense is really going to change. That defense is good because of the talent, not because of its unit.
Yeah.
For example, I'll give you an example. I think the Patriot unit is really good as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Gonzalez is obviously the star player,
yeah.
and I think he'd be good anywhere. But that overall unit
mm-hmm.
isn't the most star-heavy unit I've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
The Texans have a much more stud power. The 49ers have a higher stud power defense. But they are very good as a unit. So I'm not too... and I think the Broncos are like the 49ers, where they have very high star power. So teams that are good as a unit need that coaching that they've had. Teams that don't, obviously, teams that have that star power, obviously will benefit from having continuous coaching, but they're not going to be as reliant on it.
I mean, I think we'll see come the NFL season, but, the Broncos are just such a talented team. They have a veteran head coach. They have Bo Nix, who shined last year, kind of surprised a lot of people getting the number 1 seed. You have a bunch of these guys.
I don't have a veteran head coach. He just got hired.
Sean Payton is not a veteran head coach.
Oh, you mean defensive? You mean head coach?
Yeah, head coach.
Okay.
Head coach.
Okay.
But like,
Yeah,
I mean,
Sean Payton's really good.
so I think this team, I think it'll make the playoffs. I unfortunately will. I think they will, but it's going to be a down year, like you said. Their schedule is much tougher. This team is it's going to be a little bit of
You
a.
had them at 12-5, right? Or am
I had them at 14-3.
Oh, a down year and doesn't.
Well,
change.
okay. Listen. It is going to be a down year.
Okay.
But I have them going 14-3 just because I believe in Bo Nix.
Do you have okay? I'm gonna name off all these games, and you're gonna tell me the three. I mean, you're going to look me in the eye and tell me that they lose three. That they only lose three of these games. The Chiefs
Win.
twice.
They win one.
The Jaguars.
Win.
The Rams.
Lose.
The Chargers.
Win.
Twice. 49ers.
Okay.
Seahawks.
All right, so they'll lose.
The Panthers.
Yeah, they'll win. They'll win.
The Bills.
The only game that
the Patriots.
they're home against the Bills, right?
They're home. No, they're not home against the Bills. The home
So
against
White
the Patriots.
White is away because they're playing Kansas City away.
Okay,
so
yeah,
home is
actually,
blue.
yes, you're correct. Sorry.
Bro, okay.
Okay, I apologize. The Bills.
They'll beat.
Okay,
they're at home against the Bills. Okay, fine. They'll split series against Chargers. They'll split series.
They're gonna look. They're gonna split series against the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna split series with the Chiefs.
Yes, I agree. So that puts them at 2 losses. They'll beat the Bills, and their only 2 other losses are going to be to the Seahawks and the Rams.
The Seahawks, Rams,
That's
and then
13-4.
And then you think that they won't lose to the Patriots?
Yes, I think they will.
So you think that they're gonna?
Oh,
they're not home. They're away.
I don't care if they're home or away.
So let me get this straight. You don't care if they're home or away, but they beat the Bills
Okay.
because they're home. But when
Because
it's the Patriots,
Bills are a tougher team than the Patriots. You said it yourself this year. They're going to have a better...
I think the Bills are going to win the division not because they're the better team, but because of the way that things worked out. I have them at the same record. I don't think the Bills are necessarily the better team, and I think that
think they do.
Who did the Bills lose to last year in the playoffs?
What?
Who did the Bills lose to last year in the playoffs?
Broncos. Away. If they
Who
were at
did
home...
the Patriots beat?
I have known Bo Nix.
The Broncos were the Broncos were home.
You know, but if the Bills were home, I think it would have been a different outcome of that playoff game.
So without Bo Nix,
Mhm.
you really think Bo Nix would have made that throw that Jarrett didn't made in the first quarter?
I don't care about that. I think Bo Nix...
That was the only touchdown of the game. That was the only touchdown of. That was the only.
But
Broncos
Bo Nix
touchdown.
would have produced more offense. They might have gotten more field goals. They might have got another touchdown. You know, I think
More
that...
field goals in that snow. You think you're kicking field goals?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Yes, bro. Andy Borgalis made a field goal in that snow. That's the only reason they won.
Yeah, because it was like a 10-yarder, 15-yarder.
I think that would have been the same. Maybe the same for the Broncos.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that field goal was before it was really snowy. And even if it wasn't, the Broncos are not scoring touchdowns. You really think... Excuse me. You really think...
Well, Bo Nix is a better quarterback than Jarrett Stidham. We all can admit that.
I agree with you, but I don't think that Bo Nix makes that throw. I think Jarrett Stidham has flashes that I don't see Bo Nix having. And I think that Jarrett Stidham made that throw. And I think there's no way that... Are you really going to tell me that Bo Nix will allow them to score to score 4 field goals to get over that Patriots? To get over the Patriots. You really think that? Plus...
Not field goal.
Plus, you also have to consider the fact... Sorry for cutting you off. But you also have to consider the fact that if the Broncos are having more offense, that gives the Patriots offense more time to rest. Do you know how many 3-and-outs there were? Obviously, the offenses were getting tired, which was one of the reasons that a lot of points weren't being scored. So you have to put in all the factors, and if you account for all of them, with Bo Nix, they still lose that game. And you have to remember that the Patriots weren't fully healthy either. So if we go based on purely, I think that the Broncos have a ceiling of 12-5 and a floor of 8-9. I have them in the middle of that at 10-7.